Hello and welcome to another video from HealthHire UK. My name is Ibrahim and today we're going to talk about how we can prepare for interviews in the NHS along with some of the common interview questions and answers you may be asked in your interview. To start with, interviews in the NHS are generally around 30 minutes. Some can be less and some can be more, but generally the time will be around 30 minutes. Normally you will be interviewed by a panel of 2 or 3 members of staff. Most will take place in person, especially now we are out of the COVID period. However, occasionally some teams and some departments will prefer to use Microsoft Teams. However, generally the rule is they will generally take place in person. You have to prepare well for these interviews. Failing to prepare will only mean you are going to be rejected and you are going to be unsuccessful in this interview. So what we're going to do is, the plan for today's session is we're going to start with some preparation, the background reading you have to do before you go for the interview. We're going to talk about the types of questions you might be asked at interview. We're going to talk about how we can answer the different types of questions, how we can identify these types of questions and how we can answer these. And then we'll give you a list of common NHS interview questions and answers. At the end of the video, we have an extremely important announcement to make. So make sure you hang around until the end of the video. A quick reminder of HealthHireUK.com. What we do as a company is help people to secure jobs in the NHS and health sector. What our experts can do for you is write your CV, your supporting information. They will guide you step by step to finding and applying for jobs. We'll give you video guides, we'll give you written guides, we'll give you everything you need to find and to apply for jobs. We'll tell you how you can ensure you can guarantee an interview, and we'll give you a list of interview questions and answers. Anyone who buys our service receives this. For more information, contact us on info@healthhireuk.com or visit our website healthhireuk.com. Right guys, in terms of the preparation stage, this is the first stage of preparing for interviews. We need to make sure we read and understand the job description. So ensure you understand what the role is, what the employer is going to expect from you in terms of skills, experience and knowledge. So that's the first part of the preparation stage. Next stage is to research the company and the hospital. How old is this hospital? Who are their customers? What type of patients are they treating? Is it a mental health hospital? Is it a general hospital? Is it a specialist hospital? The department you're working in, what type of patients are they going to be seeing? Are they a private hospital, a public hospital? So find out everything you can about the place that you're applying to. The next stage is to review your own CV. So ensure you've prepared examples from your past. You understand and remember where you've worked for the last 10 years, you've remembered where you've studied, what qualifications you've got, any extra trainings that you've done. Ensure you fully understand all of this and write down key points of things that you've learned from different parts of your career. So in certain employment, you might have learned teamwork. In another employment, you might have become better at communication. Or in the most recent employment, you might have started to take on managerial responsibilities. So ensure you look over this whole process and look over your whole CV as a whole and understand what you've gained from your different employments. The last stage of preparation is to prepare examples. We've sort of briefly touched on it on the previous point, but really look at the skills, knowledge and experience that they're asking for and think about how you meet these skills, experience and knowledge. So for example, they might have asked for communication, they might have asked for teamwork, they might be wanting an NVQ, a certain qualification. So just prepare examples before the interview of how you meet each of these criteria. Right guys, we're going to move on to the type of questions you're going to be asked. The type of questions in most interviews are 3. First are general questions. Example of general questions are what's your understanding of the role. Second is behavioral questions. So these are questions referring to the past. In short, they're wanting to know whether you meet the skills, experience and knowledge criteria. So they might ask you, tell us about a time you've shown Communication skills, tell us about a time you've had to deal with difficult patients. Tell us about a time you've had to show initiative. So these are types of behavioral questions. We're going to come to how you can answer them in a moment. Last type of questions are situational or technical questions. This is going to be related to the job you are doing on a day-to-day basis. So you're going to have to look at the job description, ensure you understand the role. What type of things are you going to be expected to do? What's a day-to-day going to entail for you? And you might be asked questions on a certain topic or a certain task that you might be expected to do as part of your role. So as long as you've done the preparation, like we've talked about in the previous stage, and as long as you've understood the job role and what you're expected to do, you're going to be able to answer these questions fairly easily. In terms of general questions, as long as you've done the preparation, that's going to put you in good stead. So these are going to be very quick questions. You're going to be having to give a quick answer to them. As long as you've done the preparation, the type of questions are going to be the simple questions. As long as, do you understand the role? Why do you want to work for this hospital? And these type of questions. So as long as you've done the preparation, as long as you've done the reading, you're going to be well prepared for these type of questions. We are going to give you a list of interview questions and answers after this in the next few minutes that will come on the screen. Moving on to the behavioral questions then. So what we're going to talk about here is they're going to be asking us that give us an example of a time you've shown communication skills, give us an example of a time you've shown initiative. They're really going to be digging into what behaviors have you got and whether you meet the skills, experience and knowledge that they're expecting. So the best way to answer these questions, any questions where you're referring to the past, where you're referring to situations that have already occurred, use something called the STAR method. So on the screen, we're going to now show you the STAR method in detail. But essentially, STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. So for example, let's talk through an example question. Tell us about a time you've shown leadership skills. So you could say a situation where you were dealing with a difficult team member who was not turning up for time on work. What action you did? So you could say that what I did was sat down with the team member, explained the importance of timekeeping, and explained that we'll be monitoring the time. The result of this action was that the team member was now coming on time to work and was no longer turning up late for work. So this is a way basically to frame a story. So a lot of the times when you're asked, if you were generally asked a question like, give us an example of a time you've shown leadership skills, you might struggle to think of a story or an example of when this has happened. And then you're going to struggle to say it in a quick manner where you explain very quickly what the situation was, what you did, and what the outcome was. The STAR method allows you to frame your answers well. It's going to show that you can, obviously you can prepare the examples from beforehand, so you can look at the skills, experience, and knowledge required on the person specification. Look at the skills they're wanting, and now think of examples of how you've met these skills. So one of the skills might have been leadership. So you're going to think now you're going to be asked about leadership potentially in the interview. Now when you get to interview, tell them, that I've got leadership skills as evidence by when this situation happened, I undertook this task, and this was the action I took, and this was the result. Technical questions are going to be related to the job role. As long as you've done the preparation, you've understood what the job role is, you're going to find this section fairly simple. You're going to understand what the job role is, the type of tasks you're going to be expected to do. So you might be asked a question on a task. For example, how do you do task A, B, and C? Or how would you do a task A if a certain situation was to occur? So it's fairly simple once you understand the type of job you're applying for and what scenarios you're are going to be relatively common in your role. Moving on, we're now going to go pause for a minute or two, and we're going to have the common interview questions come up on the screen. Right guys, coming back to the video now. So you've had a look at the common interview questions, you've had a look how to answer the different type of questions, and we've had a look right at the beginning on how you can prepare for the interview. So at HealthHireUK.com, we've got over 10 years of experience doing this. We've helped hundreds of candidates just this year alone. What our experts can do for you is write your CV, supporting information, and cover letter. They will guide you step by step to finding and applying for jobs in the NHS and health sector in the UK. We also then give you a list of common interview questions and answers. So we help you from the beginning to the end of the process. We tell you how you can guarantee the interview, and we give you a lot of bonus tips and tricks along the way. We try to keep our service as reasonably priced as possible. Our service normally starts at £140. However, at the moment, we've got a 50% discount using the code NHS50. To purchase our service, visit our website healthhireuk.com, follow the instructions on the screen, and you can make payment. A member of the team will be in touch after you made payment, and we'll get started with your application. At HealthHire, we mentioned we're going to have a massive announcement at the end. At the time of posting these videos, we have not yet hit 1,000 subscribers. By the end of July, we are wanting to hit 1,000 subscribers. At the time of 1,000 subscribers, we are doing a massive giveaway, guys. You do not want to miss this. So please do subscribe. It helps us to promote our channel more and to give you the content to help you on your job journey. Please also share this video. So like the video, share it with your friends, and like we mentioned before, subscribe to our channel. Until next time, goodbye.